Lycoris Recoil is an anime we love for the Yuri. But did you know that the official light novel has even more Yuri? Yes! Within these walls of words contains a handful of heart-fluttering, tomato-facing, brain-shocking Yuri moments. In fact, I'd argue it's basically canon that Takina likes Chisato with all the monologues we get from her. Bro, she's literally sniffing her in the story. Twice! These light novels are wild. And only in Japanese. So today, since I've read through them with my aspiring N1 certificate, I'll be going through and introducing the best Yuri parts of the two Lycoris Recoil light novels. In terms of structure, the two books might come as unexpected. They're all in the form of short stories, mostly unrelated to each other. Within all these stories brings the premise that Takina is working comfortably in Lycoris Cafe already. So if you want a canonical timeline, then, well, too bad. It can kind of fit in anywhere in the anime past episode 4. The purpose of both books is to show daily life in Lycoris and how our main group forms bond with the regulars. So you might be surprised to hear that about half the stories are actually told from the perspective of side characters and how Lycoris changed their lives positively. I don't have time to go over every single one of them, but it can range from something as comical as an old guy thinking Takina has a crush on him, even though she actually hated him, to genuinely good life advice, to something fucked up that borderlines the infamous 177013. Like, bro, you should have seen my face when reading it. But today, our focus is Yuri! So let's put that away and go straight to our favorite couple, aspiring couple, Chisataki. As we all know, Chisato is nigh invincible in battle, except for one weakness: disease. Oh god, not the germs! Not the germs! In this chapter, with the greatest title in the world, Cough, we have Chisato catching a cold. Chisato gets sick because, as any dumbass teenager would, doesn't sleep after an overnight shift of dressing up and shooting people. What does she do? Watches movies at home. Go the fuck to sleep! She gets a cough, a fever, and boom. In bed like a hot mess. The story follows Takina and all the things she does to take care of Chisato as her partner. Oh, speaking of which, remember how I said half the stories are told in the perspective of side characters? Well yeah, the other half are in Takina's perspective. You really get a grip on her true feelings. Before putting Chisato to bed, Takina becomes an Asian mom and interrogates why Chisato got sick. Did you sleep naked? Did you pick up random shit and eat it? Etc. After a conversation about dog racism, rabies, and Chisato confessing not sleeping for over 2 days, Takina does the most logical thing a human can do as a good friend and sniffs her face. This has to be some kind of tag, right? She wanted to know if Chisato took a shower, to which the answer was yes. And Takina said, and I quote, "You smell good." Oh, so when she does it, it's cute, but when I do it, I hear sirens. They have some random conversations about movies and, hey, Chisato is fine with bold people. You hear that, folks? We have a chance. Then Chisato goes... Takina cooks a delicious nabeyaki udon for Chisato's dinner, and at Chisato's request, wakes up early in the morning to go line up and buy the red bean rice Chisato wants so much. Tell me this isn't wife behavior. What I really like is the random thoughts we see Takina have, illustrated in these chapters. You can really tell, just like the snippet in the anime, that though Chisato's behavior is so alien to Takina, it really does make Takina reconsider her own values and how she wants to live. This paragraph describes how although Chisato is the strongest Lycoris of all time and existed to erase evil from the shadows, here she is, a mountain of get-well gifts from Lycoris regulars, loved by everyone. She is special. Chisato really lives in Takina's mind rent-free. Like, she literally walks past a giant slide and thinks Chisato would probably just go slide once without a care in the world. We get a bunch of wholesome moments with daily life and thoughts with Takina, the gang eating their red bean rice, and Chisato getting busted that she faked being sick on the second day like the troll that she is. And the story ends with Takina scolding Chisato, saying, "You only got sick cause you're not living properly," only to get sick herself immediately. See kids, karma's a bitch. But the Yuri only goes up and gets more explicit from here. The next story takes place in Takina's fever dream. No, like literally her dream after she got sick and has a fever. And the theme is horror movies, or more specifically, Chainsaw Serial Killer. The base premise is pretty simple. Chisataki wake up in a wooden lodge in the middle of the forest at night, and they're trying to run away from the serial killer. And Chisato is super excited about running for her life because this is like one of those movies for real for real. I wonder who the real psychopath is. Because it's a dream, Chisato says the serial killer basically has all the qualities and tropes of that from a generic horror film. Ability to teleport, basically unkillable, etc. But the best trope? Okay, this sentence, and I quote Chisato, "The black macho tough guy is reliable till the end, and so the baby survival rate is really high." Then Mika gets brutally murdered on the next page. It's so good. There's no way Chisato just pulled the black guy dies first in the horror film trope. But there's only one main trope I want to focus on in this story, which is, and I quote Chisato again while the two are alone, "The ones that survive until the end are lovers. A couple," she said embarrassedly, then proceeds to scream to the serial killer, "Actually, me and Takina are dating!" While Takina goes through a whole ass, "What is defined by lovers?" So creates philosophical journey in her head, and after they get saved by Kurumi's truck, Chisato goes all, "Hey, it worked!" while holding Takina's hand, and Takina goes, "If couple means a pair of people, then her and Chisato are a pair, so the requirement to be a couple is fulfilled." And then she does a classic tsundere move and thinks, "There's no way this is my dream, it must be a coincidence." Narrator, it was Takina's dream. I'm not gonna say no homo, bro. She's thinking she and Chisato counts as a couple in her own dream. Her own dream. We're going to Pentagon with this one! Oh, by the way, Takina woke up holding Chisato's hand because, you know, that's how you take care of your sick friend. Oh, also she sniffs her again because, you know, just taking in your scent, bro. No homo. But no, we're not stopping there. It gets even better. The best story I wanted to introduce is, again, another one of Takina's dreams. Except we're in High School of the Dead this time. In this zombie apocalyptic Tokyo, Chisato and Takina escape the zombie-horded Lycoris cafe and head towards DA. And in true High School of the Dead fashion, they sleep together. Takina's hair is so beautiful. It smells good too, Chisato whispers, touching her hair. Yamete, kuda, stop! She shrieked as Chisato buried her face into Takina's hair, and she feels her nose and lips on her nape. Even Takina makes those kinds of noises. Chisato laughs. I wonder if there's a heterosexual explanation for these events. Homies, is it gay to blow your friend's nape? It's actually not that sleeping scene, but this one particular sequence of events when they're heading towards DA that stand out to me so much, even compared to the anime. Not bad. What is? In a world with no one else, just me and my partner driving along a pitch black road. Isn't it great? They first think it's impossible due to resources, but nah, I think the two of us is nice, isn't it? Unable to reach Chisato's true intentions, Takina went silent for a bit. What does that mean? It means exactly what it sounds like. Wouldn't it be better to have an organization or something? I know, but how do you feel, Takina? With me? With Chisato? Yep. Just the two of us. Takina first thought of all the rational necessities, but realized that wasn't what Chisato meant. Chisato was asking how she felt. She acknowledges that a lot has happened after she was kicked out of DA, and up till recently, she wouldn't have felt much about it. But now, well, I wouldn't hate it. Takina whispered, Chisato unable to hear, and Tsunkina thinking, it's fine, I didn't want to convey my answer anyway, I just wanted to answer the question myself. Well, shall we go? Chisato asked as they locked eyes. Chisato smiling at her, somewhere far away, just the two of us, right? Bro, there is so much tension in this conversation and thought process. Takina keeps mentioning how there is so much silence in between her answers. Takina is literally in schoolgirl crush mode, and it doesn't even end there. While Chisato was talking about zombie movie tropes and how it always goes, man was the true monster, Takina kept thinking about the true meaning behind Chisato's words. Tsunkina twisted it into, a world with too many people would cause conflict between people, so just the two of us is better, and blushed at what she initially thought Chisato meant. Chisato, realizing Takina is acting weird, leans towards Takina. Takina faintly feels Chisato's scent, which she normally wouldn't think anything of, but this time shakes her up. Hey, Chisato. Chisato's hand touches Takina's cheek. Those soft, warm hands touch her cheek, traces her jaw, then reaches her ear. Takina tries to pull away and pulls a Yamete kudasai 2.0, but Takina, you feel hot. Is it a fever? Then they car crash. RIP. Takina was too hot, she blew the car up. I would like to kindly remind you that all of that was in Takina's dream. AKA, she dreamt of all the things Chisato said to her. The way Chisato smelled, the vivid descriptions of Chisato's smile and the way Chisato touches her. Heterologist, what do you think? She's If you want my actual Yuri opinion, Chisato can be a bit tricky because of her troll demeanor, but there is no way in hell you can argue Takina doesn't like Chisato after all that. One last small cute scene I wanted to talk about is this small one at the end of the second book. It's a really small scene, but at this certain moment Chisato smiles. Takina comments on how even though Chisato usually acts like a kid and has the smile of a sunflower, she occasionally has this adult-like, mature smile that makes her feel like a true adult, the strongest Lycoris in history. And looking at her like this makes Takina embarrassed, so she averts her sights. I completely understand what Takina means. Even though Chisato acts like a troll gremlin most of the time, this is the smile she's talking about. You get it. It's all these small things that goes to Takina's mind. The monologues, they're so cute. I hope they get a full English publication soon so you guys can experience it too. It's so good. I love the Lycoris Recoil light novels. There's so much more I love other than Yuri as well. But the main thing that really made my heart go is so many of Takina's monologues. It gives a great insight of the way Takina thinks and how this famous scene really changed her, as even she admits to herself that the way she looks at things has been changed by Chisato by working at Lycoris Recoil. And last thing, Takina definitely likes Chisato. I will not be convinced otherwise. Look at this pile of evidence. Half more way! Our ship is half cannon!